some guitarists didn't just play. They rewired the sound of rock itself. Hendrix lit the fire. Page, Clapton, they fanned the flames. Rock history has its headline acts. But between the lines are stories that never made the spotlight. What about the ones who stayed in the shadows? The unsung heroes who broke the rules, shaped entire genres, and inspired generations, but never got the credit they deserved. If you love uncovering the legends behind the legends, hit that subscribe button. This one's for the deep diggers. Roy Buchanan didn't need a wall of amps or flashy effects. Just a beat-up Fender Telecaster and his hands. That was enough. More than enough. His tone could whisper, cry, or scream, sometimes all in the same phrase. For Roy, it wasn't about showing off. It was about feel. He was so connected to his guitar that he could make it sound like a theremin using just the volume knob and pickup switch. They called him the best unknown guitarist in the world. Even guitar giants like Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton said he was one of the greatest they'd ever heard. Want proof? Listen to The Messiah Will Come Again. It's not just a song, it's a soul speaking through strings. Steve Hackett was doing things in the early 70s that most shredders wouldn't try until the 80s. Playing with Genesis, Hackett introduced two-handed tapping on songs like The Return of the Giant Hogweed, long before it became a shred guitar staple. He wasn't the flashiest guy on stage, but his playing was revolutionary. Tracks like Firth of Fifth aren't just technically masterful, they're emotionally powerful. Without Hackett, a whole generation of prog and metal guitarists might have missed their blueprint. Everyone knows Jethro Tull for the flute, but behind that signature sound was Martin Barr, building some of the heaviest, most unforgettable riffs of the era. His guitar work on Aqualung, pure thunder, gritty, bluesy, unforgettable. That solo even made Guitar Player magazine's top 20 rock guitar solos of all time. But Martin wasn't just a riff machine. He blended folk, classical, and hard rock like a storyteller using chords instead of words. Every solo felt like a journey, not just fast fingers, but deep emotion. If Jan Akkerman had been born in the US or UK, his name would be on 100 t-shirts. The Dutch virtuoso could do it all. One minute he's fingerpicking like a Baroque composer. The next he's ripping through a prog rock storm. Put on Hocus Pocus by Focus. It's wild, weird, and totally brilliant. Ackerman mixed rock, jazz, and classical like it was second nature. He made it look effortless. And the world noticed. In 1973, Melody Maker named him the best guitarist in the world, ahead of Clapton, Page, and Beck. Bill Nelson wasn't about flashy solos or posing for the spotlight. He was more like a painter, layering tones, textures, and moods into something cinematic. With his band Bebop Deluxe, he fused glam, prog, and early new wave into a sound that felt like it came from the future. Songs like Axe Victim and Made in Heaven shimmer with atmosphere. He often used an EBow, a device that creates infinite sustain, to make his guitar sound like a synthesizer or even a violin. Years ahead of his time, Nelson made guitar music that sounded like tomorrow. When Jimi Hendrix says someone is better than him, you listen. That someone was Terry Kath. In the early days of Chicago, Kath was a storm of raw energy, wild, soulful, and unpredictable. Hendrix once told Chicago's sax player, "Your guitarist is better than me. Listen to 25 or 6-4. Kath's tone is thick and powerful. His solos twist and turn like they've got a mind of their own. He didn't just play, he channeled the guitar. He died way too young in 1978, but his sound still hits like lightning. Everyone remembers Bowie's Ziggy Stardust era, the glitter, the costumes, the cosmic flair. But behind the stardust was Mick Ronson, whose guitar made it all soar. His solo on Moonage Daydream, it's electric, melodic, and unforgettable. Ronson wasn't just Bowie's guitarist, he helped shape the entire Ziggy sound. He even arranged many of Bowie's orchestral parts, acting as both axeman and composer. If punk had a mad scientist, it was Robert Quine. His guitar didn't just play, it attacked. Sharp, jagged, unpredictable, but always with purpose. Playing with Richard Hell and Lou Reed, Quine brought jazz-like spontaneity into punk's raw chaos. His record collection was full of avant-garde and obscure jazz. influences that turned his guitar into an experimental powerhouse. Just listen to Blank Generation. It's punk, but not like you've heard it before. In a band where vocals and drums usually grab the spotlight, Alex Lifeson quietly built some of rock's most emotional and complex guitar work. Take La Riva Strangiato. It's more than a solo. It's a full-blown symphony on 6 strings. Or Closer to the Heart, where he proves that subtlety can be more powerful than distortion. Lifeson brought prog rock precision with real feeling. He deserves way more recognition. Before most people had even heard of tapping, Harvey Mandel was already warping sound into otherworldly shapes. Using a fretless guitar, he created smooth, vocal-like runs no one else was doing. His style felt like blues from another dimension. On songs like Cristo Redentor, his playing is haunting, almost spiritual, like a sci-fi soundtrack made of soul. Whether with Canned Heat, John Mayall, or solo, Mandel stayed ahead of the curve, proving the blues could evolve. And then there's Lita Ford, the queen of heavy metal guitar. While the 70s and 80s were crowded with male shredders, Lita carved her own path, fierce, fast, and unapologetically bold. Before going solo, she played in the Runaways alongside Joan Jett, one of the first all-female hard rock bands to go global. Tracks like Kiss Me Deadly and Gotta Let Go are full of razor-sharp tone and fire. Lita didn't follow trends, she set them. Let's not forget Tom Verlaine from Television. In the mid-70s, long before post-punk was a thing, he was crafting guitar lines that were angular, hypnotic, and deeply emotional. His work on Marquee Moon was less about solos and more about tension and texture. He wasn't loud, he was precise. He made silence part of the music. These players might not be the faces on vintage rock posters, but their fingerprints are all over the music we love. They shaped sounds, invented techniques, and sparked inspiration, often from the sidelines. If even one of these names was new to you, go listen. You might just discover your next favorite guitarist hiding in plain sight. And hey, if you enjoyed this dive into rock's underrated icons, make sure to subscribe. There's a whole world of deep cuts, forgotten legends, and sonic pioneers still waiting to be heard. Keep listening, keep discovering, keep rocking.